Good morning. We are going to Scotland today for a conference, or more like a workshop, where I've presented one of my book chapters. It's been one of the most kind of difficult drafts to write, so I'm very excited to get some feedback, and I'm also very excited to see Scotland. Weirdly, I've never been. I've wanted to go forever, but it has never happened, or not yet. And so today's the day. I will be arriving in the afternoon to Glasgow. I'm gonna have, just spend a little touristy afternoon there, afternoon and evening. The conference is tomorrow and the next day. And then on the third day, or I guess fourth day, I will go to Edinburgh, where I'll be meeting a friend as well. So I want to bring you with me. I am very excited for this trip. So yeah, let's go. made it to my hotel. I'm actually a little bit more tired than I was expecting or hoping, because I ended up staying up quite late yesterday. I went to have dinner with one of my best friends in London, whose parents are visiting from the United States, and I hadn't seen them in quite a while, so it was, you know, a nice and easy kind of family dinner. But we ended up chatting until very late, and so by the time I took the tube back home and arrived and, you know, cleaned my face, put my pajamas on, went to bed, it was way too late. And then I had an early start this morning to take the train, so the lack of sleep is starting to weigh on me. But I do want to go out and check out the city, or maybe just wander around for a little bit. I do have a call for my group style coaching program in about 15-ish minutes. So I think I'm just gonna take the call and then go out. I'll need to get dinner at some point, so I think I'll just go out for an easy walk, find a place that looks cozy and nice for dinner, and then I suppose I will come back. I did take a little rest between walking from the train station and now. Tonight, I think I'm just gonna curl up in bed, probably read, maybe watch some sort of period drama, and go to bed to see if I am feeling more energetic and recharged tomorrow. So, yeah.
Some coffee for you.
Thank you.
No problem. scones and fried eggs. Two. Yes. That's all.
So it's the second day of my trip to Glasgow today. And today the conference starts, and well, it's not really a conference, it's more like a workshop kind of thing where we basically submitted drafts of our work and we're gonna get it reviewed, like people read it, give feedback, we exchange basically feedback with everyone, which I think is super super helpful. I personally submitted a chapter that's based on my PhD work, but it's kind of a new chapter for my book. It's very much in progress. I am excited to get the feedback. And it was actually quite nice having to submit this chapter draft for this workshop, because otherwise I think I would have just avoided it, because it's been so difficult to write it that it's just hard. And so I basically applied to this workshop and submitted this paper to this workshop as a way of basically forcing myself to do the work. So that's nice. I have used this method of saying I'll share things in workshops or conferences or whatever to get me to work. It acts as a deadline for me in a way. That is much more tangible than saying, okay, I'll have it by this day, or I'll send it to, well, when I was getting the PhD, to my advisor on this day. I think that wasn't as effective as actually having to present the work somewhere. So that's something that I have taken away and that I am using as I write the first book. So yeah, and then in this case, because I've been reading other people's work as well, and it's all about trade and empire and I guess textiles in general, it's been actually super super interesting. So I'm loving that. Where? I am exhausted and very full because we had a delicious Thai meal today. It was this sort of shared platter situation, so I ended up eating probably way more than I should have or could fit in my body, but it was really good. And then the conversations had around dinner were also amazing. I do enjoy a good meal with good people who also activate me intellectually, which is basically what I had today. So I loved that. But I'm here to report on the conference. It was amazing. I had a fantastic time. You know, one of the things that I really enjoy about being a scholar is just the brain massage that I get every time I engage with new scholarship or even just like things that make me think about things, if that makes any sense. And then this workshop is exclusively about commodities and empire, and specifically about textiles as commodities of empire. So, it's kind of my thing, my area. And so getting to read all of these other papers and engaging in discussion with other scholars who are experts in the field, I think really activates me. It was very enjoyable, but it also activates many parts of my brain and my creativity. So, yeah, it was a good day. It was intense. So, there were two kind of panels. But again, because this wasn't the traditional conference, which is where scholars go and present a paper, and it usually comes with a PowerPoint of sorts, and you just talk for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. It kind of depends on the conference, and then people ask you questions. This one was, we rotated our work, so like drafts of our work beforehand, weeks ago. I think, when was the deadline for this? Probably around a month ago, a little over a month ago, we sent the papers, and then we got sent everyone's paper to kind of read and come and discuss. So I think that is, I mean, it has good and bad things, of course, as everything, but I really like that format. And especially because what I'm dealing with right now is a piece of text that's actually pretty big because it's a book that I want to publish. Actually, having people to read through my draft and comment on it is very helpful. And in this case in particular, I think I had several insights and ideas that I want to continue exploring. So, because this workshop is on commodities, I think there were a lot of economic historians reading my work, and they had very interesting questions about like the size of the markets and things like that, which I think are interesting, but I hadn't necessarily thought about. And then there were some other more theoretical, as in economic theory based questions that will definitely not be part of this book. But the little economist in me is interested in maybe exploring further. So there might be some sort of spin off of this chapter that I submitted, or like my research into indigenous textiles, where I can maybe question or like ponder economic theory through an indigenous perspective and decolonize capitalism, if that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, this feels like a lot. This is intense. I don't know if I'll ever have the time or energy or even brain to do that. But I think it's an interesting idea. And then the other thing, I guess, is just for my paper, for my book in particular, there were some kind of specific ideas about how this chapter, which is about trade of textiles, kind of fits within the book, but then also the larger implications of my study. And then one of the things that's becoming more and more clear to me as I go through my scholarship is how much of it is really activism. And it's not necessarily picket line activism, but it's a lot of like activism that can impact the way in which we design and create public policy and implications for the contemporary fashion industry and things like that, which again is probably not part of the book. It's not an argument that I'm making in a historical book or like a history book, but it can definitely be an argument made around the importance of studying history. Anyway, I'm starting to get a little philosophical here, I suppose, when I really wanted to talk about the conference and how fantastic this experience was. We had lunch, by the way, this is all in one of the beautiful conference rooms at the University of Glasgow, which is on top of a hill, and it has a beautiful view of the Hunterian Museum and just the city, which is a very beautiful city. And here is where the architectural historian in me, which is like 1% of what I do, but like the architectural historian in me just marvels at all of these human made creations and human creativity, I guess. So, yeah, it was a beautiful space to be at. It was a beautiful discussion, very engaging, very intense, but very engaging. We had lunch there as well. I had some fantastic conversations with some of the people participating in it. Then the afternoon was the second panel. We discussed two papers. Again, very interesting, a lot of questions about object based studies of textiles. And I think some of the through lines in the afternoon panel, but then also in the morning panel, have to do with, in a way, decolonizing the archive, decolonizing histories, and then kind of seeing how we're seeing objects and even many of the stories that we've been told through a different lens that uncovers other stories and other realities and experiences of material culture, which I think is very interesting. And then after that, we walked across the park. It was a very scenic walk, and there was a double book launch around, again, commodities of empire. One of them was about coffee plantations in 20th century Angola, and then the other one is about Scottish linen in the 18th century, I believe, and how it connects with empire as well, or like colonialism, but also specifically with enslavement. I haven't read any of these books. They both sound super interesting. They both point to the importance of textiles. And actually, one of the book authors, Sally Tockett, insisted a lot on this during the book launch talk, the importance of textiles as a reflection of what's going on in society and like broader social, political, economic themes. I am actually very, very excited to read probably both books, but especially Sally's book on linen. I would actually love to invite her to interview in Redressing Fashion podcast. I'm going to try to make that happen, but I do want to read the book first, so it'll take a while. But yeah, and her book, especially, I think for me, it's a lot about understanding, linen, that is one of those textiles that's ever present everywhere in the world and throughout a very long time history. And it's a pretty mundane kind of cloth, but at the same time, it can tell so much about its specific context, and especially about, well, in this case, enslavement and other wider historical phenomena, which I think is interesting. But again, I haven't read the book, so this is just some loose thoughts reflecting back on the panel. And then after that, we had a little break. I did need that break to catch up on work emails and then some revisions and of the work that I do for the Fashion and Race database. So I did that. And then we went for dinner, which, as I mentioned a while ago, was a pretty good Thai dinner. Lots of food, some wine, fantastic conversations. And then we walked back to the hotel. The beautiful full moon is out, and the weather is also quite nice. And yeah, that was it. Pretty full and intense conference day, but I think also very exciting. I am very excited for tomorrow. I am very sleepy too, so I'm gonna go to bed. I want to wake up early tomorrow because I didn't get to read one of the two of the papers that are being presented tomorrow, and I do want to read them before the conference. So I'm hoping to wake up bright and early, get breakfast, read those papers over tea, and then walk over to the university. So I'll report back then. Good night.
Do you have any courses again about renaissance or earlier?
Spread out a bit so that you're not inundated.
I made it back to London after a fantastic trip and a fantastic conference. It was exhausting. I was so tired yesterday after just a very intense couple days of thinking and engaging with other scholars and thinking about my own work. And we had a little visit, which you probably saw, to the museum at the University of Glasgow, the Hunterian Museum, and the archives, and we saw some pretty cool objects that had to do with textiles as well, especially with commerce with East India and the East India Company, which was super fun. And then I went on a very long walk with one of the scholars who was at the conference. We just talked about a bunch of different things, including donkeys, which apparently we are both obsessed about. And then I met with two of the early career scholars for a drink, and then with some other conference attendees for dinner. It was a pretty chill dinner, but it was very nice. I was completely exhausted by the end of the day, and then I went to bed, got up early on the next day, went to Edinburgh for a little day trip, which is not making it to this vlog because it's getting too long now. And then I came back, and now I'm here. This conference, I think I mentioned it earlier, was very, I think, important to me because it felt like a closing stage. It was basically the cherry on top of my academic life that is going to be put on pause now. My life as an author, though, I feel it's only just beginning with the writing of this first book that you've heard about, that I presented, or for one chapter of which I presented at this conference that I just went to. and I'm actually really excited to be back in London to focus on writing and to build this new career as an author and I guess podcaster and YouTuber and everything else as well. I do have a couple more trips coming very soon. I'm going to France for my best friend's wedding in just about 10 days. And then I'm going to Seattle the first week of October. So I might or might not vlog about them. I actually don't think I'm gonna vlog about my friend's wedding, but I might vlog about the trip to Seattle. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know, because I'm actually quite enjoying this and I hope you are too. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of my new life, or this new chapter of my life as a public fashion scholar. Or I should say probably as a writer and broadcaster. I am very excited for this, and I am very excited to share more with you soon. But for now, I think I'm just gonna go get some good rest and recover from this intense trip. See you soon.